Also playing our Players' Championship. He's on Grixis Control. Very close to what Ely Cassis is playing. He's 9-3-1. Daryl Ayers with his Teamer Delver deck and a Tarmogoyf in play that is attacking. Another Tarmogoyf off the top of the deck. He'll pass the turn back. Jones with a young Pyromancer, so both these players have exhausted each other's resources. But Ayers is out ahead here with 2 4/5 Tarmogoyfs. Another young Pyromancer there for Jones. Daryl will quickly untap. He'll draw a card. Red zone with both of those. Baleful Strix is probably the best draw in Jones's deck. He'll play a Taxian Probe, and he will just simply concede the game. So, Daryl Ayers will tie things up with his Teamer Delver deck against Kevin Jones. And that means we get to take a look at the sideboard. Now, we get to start with Jones's. I can't wait to see what's in Daryl's, though. And for Jones, what does he have available?
2 copies of Hydroblast, 2 copies of Pyroblast, a Massacre, an Electricity, Sabo's Web, a Null Rod, a Surgical Extraction, a Smash to Smithereens, a Zoranorb, a True Name Nemesis, a Nile Spellbomb, a Mountain, and a Recoil. So it looks like Kevin is just playing Ely Cassis' list.
Okay.
And in this matchup, I think the blasts, both Hydro and Pyro, are totally reasonable. I think the additional copy of True Name Nemesis is very good here. I'm skeptical of Zoranorb. I liked it a lot in the matchup that Ely played against Blue-Red Delver, but against a deck with Tarmogoyf, they might just hit in too big a chunks to afford a card that's basically just a life gain spell.
Other side of things here for Daryl. I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm excited. 1 Vendilion Click, a Sulfuric Vortex, a Sylvan Library, 2 Graph Trigger's Cage, 2 Rough Tumble, 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Pyroblast, a Crows and Griff, an Ancient Grudge, and Nuzawa Shite, a Pithy Needle. That is the most boring sideboard I've ever seen.
I really like Sulfuric Vortex a lot against this Grixis Control deck for similar reasons. I like the 1 copy of Sylvan Library quite a bit. And past that, I think the Pyroblasts are fine, but I would not go too crazy sideboarding here.
How are you going to come to the party with main deck Kurt Apes and not have any spice in the board?
I know, it's insane.
I demand an explanation. Like, I would have liked to see 1 Rumbling Slum.
1 Rumbling Slum is great. I think that if you're a teamer with Arabian Nights Kurt Apes, it's fine to get Old Man of the Sea in your sideboard.
Okay.
Which is also just a fine card. I mean, it's people don't play enough of that card in Legacy. So, get a Serendip Ifrit.
I was going to go with Burning Tree Shaman for my 3-drop of choice.
Urnambijan.
Teach those people who spin atop a lesson. That's what I would do.
It's not bad.
I've dabbled quite a bit in bad red-green cards.
Yeah, no, this is where you and I have a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
Actually, the first deck that I built was a red-green Cards I Own deck.
Very nice.
And I opened up a copy of Stormbind in an Ice Age booster.
Oof.
And put it in my deck. And back in the day, the average card was so much worse than a 2-mana shock that in a random pickup game, if you drew Stormbind, your opponent was just dead. They had no chance because the cards in their hand were not of commiserate power level to what Stormbind converted your cards into.
Stormbind is legal. It can be played in
Magic
Legacy.
Magic cards have gotten better. On top of that, Magic players have gotten better. So the average person can beat Shock You every turn. Most decks can beat this now. Back in the day, that was not the case.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only card that ever let me beat Eugene Harvey when we were playing pickup games.
Stormbind.
Stormbind was the way out.
That was the basement card, huh?
Yeah, yeah. He complained about it. And he had Nether Voids in the Abyss and stuff, and he was complaining about Stormbind.
You guys are playing a different brand of Magic down in the old basement.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. With some flair comes down the Kurt Ape. That's key.
Revised Taiga into revised Kurt Ape was also part of this deck.
A little less flair, but still effective, is the Hydroblast on the Kurt Ape. Now, had that been a Nimble Mongoose, well,
yeah,
that would not happen.
Yeah, I mean, totally lame play there from Kevin, killing the Kurt Ape with a Tygoon play. The lines of good versus evil clearly drawn in this match early on, which is good from a storytelling perspective.
I guess Kevin's here to win.
Yeah.
With his Hydroblast. See what else the enemy can put together. Oh, Ponder.
A despicable Ponder here, following up his Hydroblast that no one liked. Can't win them all, you know?
It really can't. It really can't.
So Kevin quickly building towards a Treasure Cruise in his hand, and given the fact that he's blunted Daryl's early offense, it's going to be really important for Daryl to have one of his Pyroblasts.
Wasteland Kurt Ape a combination of cards you're familiar with, given your success with Zoo with Wasteland.
Yep. I mean, Daryl's very lucky that he has a Taiga, because usually I had to operate off of a plateau when I had this sort of draw, but Wasteland Taiga Card Ape is taking me back to simpler and better times.
I don't think that Daryl is lucky that he built his deck correctly.
Sometimes you just draw. I mean, if he had his Volcanic Island, it would be the same thing.
Okay.
Could easily have happened.
Here's a Brainstorm. 2 cards going back here for Jones momentarily.
I mean, it's just been so long. I'm sort of just blown away that there's a card ape in play. It's been so.
It's been a very long time.
So long.
Ayers will draw. Oh, yes.
Ooh, satisfying 2 points of damage.
Ayers
Could that have been Monastery Swift Spear? Potentially, but who cares?
That's not what this is about.
No, it is not.
And now Tarmogoyf.
And this is part of the problem with the Blast package and why it's nice to diversify your colors a little bit. Tarmogoyf is really tough for Kevin to beat, and most of the sideboard cards he brings in and most of the cards he has in his main deck are either bolts or blasts, and neither of those are good answers to Tarmogoyf. It's already a 4/5.
Pluto Delta gonna find an Underground Sea here.
This is a pretty big young Pyromancer here, although if Daryl is able to untap and kill this thing, Kevin may fall way too far behind.
And if he draws a Volcanic Hammer to take that out.
Yep.
Some other burn spell.
Fire Ambush.
Yeah. Well, Forked Bolt will do just fine.
That's fine. I mean, I wish it was something more hilarious, but I'll take it. Kurt Ape's still trucking along, so I can't complain.
Healthy beatdown here at 6 points of damage. And Ayers with blue mana available.
Uh-oh. A blue mana and a red mana available is bad news for Kevin.
Kevin can figuring out which land he wants to tap. Here's a Treasure Cruise.
The sequencing makes it tough because he has to respect the possibility of blasts and he has to sequence the spells accordingly.
Tough too, because if Daryl does have an answer and he does have a Force of Will, does he want to use it on this or what is potentially drawn? Now here's a copy of Pyroblast. Pyroblast will resolve, and now Flusterstorm will go after Treasure Cruise. Good exchange there for Daryl. The follow-up is a Lightning Bolt to take down Kurt Ape.
Boo! Kevin Jones, boo!
Yeah, Patrick does not approve. Perhaps he approves of this attack with Tarmogoyf in just a moment, though. There is a Sylvan Library. And now we'll get in.
More great sequencing. That way, if Kevin counters the Sylvan Library, it's another card in the graveyard for Tarmogoyf.
Daryl may have Kurt Ape in his deck, but he can certainly play some Magic.
Yep.
True Nemesis is here to ruin the party. Though Sylvan Library does allow Daryl to control his draw step.
Gonna be tough to overpower, but Kevin's deck not really with many ways to take advantage of True Nemesis from this spot. It's a great blocker, but there's no equipment to potentially lock Daryl out of the game.
Misty Rainforest. Ayers will sacrifice that. He's in the lead and he's trying to hold his advantage as best he can.
Trying to flood the board here, especially with Tarmogoyfs, because they're just so hard for Kevin to answer.
And that card has taken a decline just like Wasteland has, but the matchups for Tarmogoyf is good. I think we often forget it's not good in those matchups. It's great.
Yes.
Here's a copy of Vendilion Click in the main phase. Take a look at the grip. Young Pyromancer and Preordain. Tough decision there. Do you give him a mystery card? Or do you think you can handle those?
This is interesting. I mean, you almost feel like the card that Daryl's really worried about is a removal spell because Vendilion Click can win the game, but in the event that you do allow him to find a removal spell, then he has Young Pyromancer to hold off your Tarmogoyf, and True Name Nemesis can start getting on the offense.
Snapcaster Mage, Lightning Bolt will take care of Vendilion Click. It's on Sylvan Library now.
Yes. Just needs to find 2 bolts. Or another copy of Tarmogoyf.
He's a Treasure Cruise deck.
Yep.
He can find one of those too. Again, that's why he's got Curd Ape there, not Nimble Mongoose.
Also because Curd Ape is sweet, and why would you not want to play with sweet cards? Variety
True.
of factors.
True. There's a lot that goes into deck building.
A lot
as we
that
know.
goes in. Yep, exactly.
Here's a Ponder. Ayers going to take a look at the top 3.
Daryl's deck is very interesting because he can go on the beatdowns like this and then oddly play the card advantage game too.
Yeah.
He's coming at Kevin from a variety of angles.
Delver's Secrets has shown up. Young Pyromancer here. Jones will just pass the turn back. Does have a Treasure Cruise in hand. Delver's going to flip via Brainstorm as Ayers will Sylvan Library here. Curd Ape among the cards he's looking at. I know what you would do.
Even I would not take a Curd Ape at this stage
Oh,
of the
wow.
game.
The discipline is very impressive.
I mean, it would be hard for me to turn down. If it was an Arabian Nights Curd Ape, I'd still probably take it. But at this stage, with True Name Nemesis and Young Pyromancer in play, probably best to let that one go.
So Ayers does pay a little life to get a few more cards. Here comes Insectile Aberration. It's 9-6.
Falling to the 9 is a little risky here for Daryl. It is not free, as True Name Nemesis can come across unopposed, and then bolts might kill him.
It's 9-3. Can Ayers find a Lightning Bolt? He found a copy of Pyroblast. Put a couple of cards back. Play a Misty. Crack the Misty. He is on the hunt for a Lightning Bolt right now as he goes down to 8. He wants to get this game over with.
There is some danger to this line of play. I can appreciate wanting to just go for it because you win the game for sure, but the points of damage he's taking are not free.
Well, he cast that other Brainstorm in his hand. He's taking such an aggressive slant, it's hard to pump the brakes now.
Yeah, I feel like we've come this far.
He's just going to pass.
Okay.
Jones will draw.
And now he may only need the 1 bolt to win the game here, as he has 3 attackers against 1 blocker.
Yeah.
Unless Daryl is willing to use a Pyroblast inside of combat to kill a Snapcaster Mage, which...
Certainly an option.
Yep, he can do it that way.
Jones thinks about his attack, and then we'll send everyone sideways. Ayers will use his blast to take care of Snapcaster Mage, and True Nemesis will, of course, get to come across, and that is going to do it. You see Kevin's hand, 2 Treasure Cruises in a land. Daryl Ayers going to win this match here over Kevin Jones. Bit of an upset here, Teamer Delver takes care of Grixis Control. Ayers still in top 8 contention.
So it does look like an upset in some respects because Daryl's deck looks a little funky, but there's a lot going on that's challenging for this Grixis Control deck. You have the early aggression, Tarmogoyf's not easy to answer, and then some of those enchantments like Sulfuric Vortex and Sylvan Library are also problematic. So Daryl able to play the aggressive game early on and then keep up when Kevin's able to blunt the initial pressure.